Yes, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Inter Extra podcast. I'm once again here to the left of me, Sean. How are we feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, Uh International break was nice, but
Yeah,
we're we actually can get prepared for Inter again.
I was gonna
Saw
say you
some
don't
good
miss Inter.
performances. I do, but this kind of it makes me watch a lot more football the international breaks. I'm trying to watch all the Inter players, and so
Yeah,
recently it's been kind of just Inter, and then if I'm really invested in a player, I'll watch another game. But
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
international break gets me to watch a lot of football, and I enjoy that.
yeah. I know there's people. Obviously, I know some of you guys are very much like haters of international breaks. Like they've low key like again, some of them are excessive. I feel like I'll get into that a bit later. Like I feel like instead of having five, well, we could have less. But yeah, we'll have a bit of a short episode today, guys. Again, because obviously there hasn't really been anything going on except the friendly that we had on Friday. But guys, also just if you're watching on YouTube, just so you know, I'll have my light setups back soon. So in 2 weeks, I'll be out of dark mode. So don't worry about that. And then yeah, again, like I said, a bit of a short episode today, but excited to get into it. We have some stuff to talk about still. Sean, if you want to let people know where they can find us, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Of course, as always, if you are watching us on YouTube, if you could please hit the like button, subscribe to us, make sure that you share. Sharing helps the algorithm on YouTube, gets our video out there, makes some new interisti. Leave a comment for anything that you want us to talk about below. And then if you're listening to us on audio, on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, if you could leave us a 5-star rating and review. Um, and then, yeah, make sure you follow us on all platforms. Follow us on the audio and YouTube, and then at Inter Extra on X or Twitter. Um,
Sweet.
yeah, that's it. A little bit of what we're going to get into today for all the listeners. Um, so the Inter's men's side of the club has been out of action for the international break, but that does not mean that the women haven't been out of action. So we're going to get into that game, and then, of course, our friendly. We're going to do a little bit of an international break roundup, trying to hit the key points of all of the Inter players that did well over the international break. And then, as you guys, I'm sure, always know if you're on Twitter, once international breaks come around, these three in a row that we have 3 months in a row, news outlets love, love, love having transfer rumors outside of the mercato, and they always need clicks. Every week they need clicks. So when the games aren't coming, transfer rumors are coming. And then yeah, we'll wrap up just highlighting and preparing for next week's games. So yeah, and we'll get right into it. First, like I said, we're gonna get into the Inter women's game. One thing that I have loved the last 2 weeks, I don't know if you knew this, Simi, but they have shown the women's Europa Cup game on Inter's YouTube channel.
Yeah, I noticed. I
Uh,
saw it on my subscribers page in terms of like the
yeah,
live streams. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
And
good.
then, if I'm not mistaken, because I tried to go back and watch one, yeah, they'll stay on for a couple of days, I think, before they get rid of them because I guess there's no TV rights for them. So
No,
these clubs can video and film for themselves. So if y'all want to go catch one of those games, they did win on aggregate 12-0. So today, they played today, was a 5-0 win, following up their 7-0 win last week against the Albanian club. And then also they had a 1-1 draw against Fiorentina, um, I believe. Let me
yes,
check that.
yeah,
Sorry. It was a 1-1 draw. That's what I thought. Um, yeah, last weekend. So they're in fourth, dropped some points behind the usual tough teams in the women's league. So Roma and Juve are above Inter at the moment. I can't remember the third team, but those are the usual suspects up there if you don't follow the women's game. So If before we move on as well, if anybody knows where we can watch the women's Serie A games, so there it's switched around a couple places. I know DAZN sometimes covers some games. In the past, it has been ATA Football, the app. Um, so if anyone knows where we can more regularly watch games,
Let us
that
know.
would be great. Yeah, let us know. That'll let everybody else know, and so we'll be able to relay that information to everybody that wants to know that. And then to move forward just into the only interaction that we had this international break was our friendly against Atleti, which ended in a 1-1 draw, and then we lost on penalties, which I don't really care about, but usual Inter can't win on penalties. What is that, like 3 or 4 in a row now that we haven't won on penalties? Um, yeah. Anyway, what did you think about the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, right? Like some people said we got PTSD from the Champions League game where we lost against them on penalties. Obviously, no Lautaro skying his penalty this time, but still, no, I felt like, since it was obviously mostly under 23 players that filled up the squad, it was mainly a good occasion for like the Andy Juves and the Bissecks and the Luis Enriquez of this team to get like some good minutes. And that was it really. I didn't really see much in it. In terms of the game itself, I didn't really feel like there was much to take away from it. It's not like we learned like, okay, Andy Juve is a world class player or he's absolutely terrible. Like everyone just kind of did okay, if you know what I mean. There was one
Yeah.
player which I think you will agree with me that really stood out, which was Leonardo Bovo. What a
Yep. Absolutely.
regista like cut out like basically like first time we saw him with the first team, right? Coming
Mhm.
from the under 23, slotting right into that Chalanolu vice China, some might say, role. He was very good. And then in the second half, Kaczmarski came on, the Polish guy that the
Mhm.
under 23 side signed. Also some very good signs. I was very happy with that. But yeah, there was hold on, let me try and see if I can find it. There was a lot of like talk about how much Inter got from the game. I think it was like 3, 4, 5 million just for the game itself. So that's like the money that was came in the bank. I can't find it now.
Yeah, I heard 3 or 4 million. So I heard 3 million before the game, and then saw 4 million
Yeah, because people were
on
asking
in the
like
extra.
beyond Inter Twitter, like on football Twitter, they were asking why is Inter and Atleti playing a friendly in the middle of Libya, like in an
So
international
I
break.
also I saw from that. So yeah, of course it was the money, but those two teams were invited because I think it was the grand opening
They
of their
open a
new
new
national
stadium.
team stadium.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So if any of you didn't know that, the country and the football federation of Libya wanted these teams to come to kind of showcase the new stadium. And it looked like it got a good attendance.
Yeah.
And it looked like a beautiful stadium,
The
honestly.
halftime show
So
was interesting. No, it was definitely
I turned it
something.
off for halftime, so I didn't
I
see
don't.
that.
I tweeted the screenshot of it because I was like, I don't know what is going on. That was very interesting. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
what did you make of the
Um,
game?
yeah, no,
Anything you want to
I think
add?
it was not really. I mean, I know people. So we did get to see Tommy Palacios, which it's time to accept what he is, which is a shame. I saw some people really like Spinace's performance and appearance.
It was
I
good.
don't think he did anything special.
No,
Yeah,
but he,
just
he didn't look out of place either. That's what I mean, and that's a good
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. It really does look like these players are benefiting from playing and playing against adults, right? So
Yeah.
Bovo didn't look physically out of it. Like he was ready to take some
Yeah.
contact,
Yeah.
which he probably wouldn't have been straight from the Primavera.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Luis Enrique, I know that people are just ready to slander him. Um, I didn't see anything bad from him. It didn't convince, I don't think it convinced me, anybody else, or Kivu that he needs to really be pushing for a starting position. He did play in 3 different positions in that game, though. I mean, technically just two different, but he started on the left, went to the right, and then came back to the left
Yeah,
across different substitutions. And
yeah,
so that's difficult to do in one game when you're already trying to learn the tactics of that position and you've only been playing that position for 6 months.
yeah. I
So
get people will say it's just swapping sides, so I guess it's the same thing, but it's not. We all know playing on the left versus playing on the right always has different, like,
yeah,
because
ask Dimarco to go play on the right.
if even like, for example, if your right centre mid is completely different profile to your left centre mid, or your left centre back is completely different player to your right centre back, it's not the same playing left or right. You still need to adapt to certain things, so it's not like as easy as people might think it is. So yeah, you are right in that regard.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, Darmion's capable of doing it. I guess playing defensively is a little different, right? So it's just you make sure you cover the wing and try to take players on 1v1,
Hmm.
like not let him get by you. So that way it can translate a little bit easier, but he's doing both aspects of the game. So when he's trying to get on his right foot, that's cutting inside on the left, while on the right side, it's you hold the width. So like just for anybody that was, that's really grilling him. The only other player that I do want to point out, you kind of got through the young players that were really nice,
Hmm.
uh, is Bonnie.
Yeah,
He really looks every bit of the 25 million that we paid.
he's the real deal.
Yeah, he is the real deal. So, um, he didn't get on the end of anything, but just his ability to relieve pressure in a game is going to be huge. Especially him and Pio, if they have to play, like Pio's going to draw fouls, that ball's going to stick to his feet, long balls. But if they ever play together and he's getting flicks behind the defenders and Boni just can run onto those, or like I feel like the closer that they play together, kind of like Lukaku and Lautaro under Conte, the closer they play together, I think there's going to be really good things for the two of them. Um,
Definitely.
but yeah, no, it was good, and I liked Bovo the most in
Yeah,
that game. If I had to give my favorite, it would be Bovo.
really
He
good.
moves like a regista. Like he's not learning that role. He knows the role and he moves like it.
I
So
can't explain it. He has the build of a regista. I don't know if you
mhm.
know where I'm coming from. The running style, like everything just points to it. It makes sense. Like it's not like I'm seeing him for the first time, right? Because he's been playing for the under 23s, but there's something there. And yeah, I liked what I saw. Same again. Just want to come back on Spinache quickly. He looks like he's been playing in this. I know he didn't score, right? But he looked like he's been playing with his team for like 3 4 years. Like nothing like he just didn't, you know, make
Mhm.
his well, it wasn't his debut officially, but um still an important friendly. And so yeah, he didn't look out of place at all. He looks like a PO light almost.
Mm.
Just not as
Yeah, in
muscular.
in possession, I think Kivu definitely simplified the role for him as well, which is good, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do with young players. And so in possession, he slotted right in, played the nine really well. I did notice a couple times that the team press, he didn't know where to go. He didn't know when to time it, didn't know how to lead it, and that you can't blame him for
There's
that.
not
That's
enough
not,
first team training
yeah,
to
yeah,
understand what Kiva wants. This is makes sense, yeah, obviously.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. I like it, and yeah, if you don't have anything else, we can move on to the
No,
next thing.
no, we can move on to international break, and I will pull up the list just so it's easier for us to get a little bit of an idea of who played, who didn't play, and yeah, it was 5 6 days of some interesting performances. I will start straight away with Pio Esposito, who obviously made his debut last month in September, and now this month in this international break scored his first goal for Italy against Estonia. And what a goal it was as well. If you guys haven't seen it yet,
What
make
a
sure you go watch
goal
the
it was!
highlights. Incredible finish. The technique on that, the pictures that came from that goal. Striker's finish, man. Striker's finish. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, I'm very happy for him, and it just keeps going, right? It just keeps going.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really happy for him, and if anyone didn't see, you need to go look, just like search PO Estonia on Twitter, and you'll see the comparisons, like the picture comparisons to another Inter striker for that goal. And that's what it reminded me of immediately. It
Yeah.
was the jumping Icardi goal. I think that was in a derby as well, like against Milan. And oh man, so good. I'm so happy for him. Um, it
Oh,
Yeah, the
you
goals
mean
are
the
coming.
goal off of that Perisic cross, and then Icardi,
Mhm.
like, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I made
Yeah,
that. I
the
used to.
jumping kind of.
Yes, I remember making
Mhm.
an edit of that like 7 years ago, which is crazy. Um, yeah, or whenever the goal. Yeah, I think it was 7 years ago. Nah, that just shows you what Pio, like what we can expect of Pio as well. I think now, like, not to put the pressure too much, but he's showing that he can do this week in, week out, and that's like, again, he also played a good second game yesterday. I feel like he's starter material, which is honestly like creates a luxury problem, suffering from success, quite literally, because we have four strikers that are all like close to or already world class, and it's a blessing, really. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, absolutely, it was a blessing. Um, yeah, I was in the 45 minutes in the other game. Um, we're good. He's getting lessons from Lautaro. I think,
It
the
looks
shot
like
right
it,
at
right? You can
keeper.
kind of tell,
Yeah,
like the Lautaro inference is definitely showing through at this point. Like they're training together, and it shows. Yeah,
yeah.
but I would like to mention, I know, corner kick merchant, whatever. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, yeah, got 4 assists in 2 games. Two against Georgia yesterday, and two against, who was it? Give me one sec. Bulgaria as well.
The Yeah, the consistency though in your deliveries to be able to do that. I don't care. Like, yeah, if you're using it as like an argument for stats and things, this is why I don't like stats. But
Yeah,
if you have that level of consistency in the way that you deliver a ball, and we're starting to see it with his shots on goal from long range as well.
yeah.
He's Kivu's given him the freedom to hit those something from 20 to 30 yards out, and it's getting consistent, and I
It
can
feels like he's
only
scoring
see it
every second long shot.
doing well for us. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a sign of things of Hakan improving again and getting back into the flow of things. Um, and so yeah, I'm glad he's performing for Turkey. They were ready to attack their captain, I think, last international break, and this time he came back. He heard the criticisms and said, "No, no, I'm captain here for a reason." So,
yeah. Both with
yeah,
Inter
it was
and
good.
with Turkey, he's redeeming himself. I feel like it's a very, that takes a lot, especially with, what the media has been saying and even fans have been saying, to come back like this and to be like, actually, guys, like, you need a reminder what I'm capable of, kind of thing. That is not easy. So I respect it.
Yeah, especially like Turkey fans, like that fan base, the league itself. Like if you think about the fans of the Turkish league are crazy. Imagine all of them now combining together to
Yeah,
support their national team.
it's
You know,
yeah,
that's a tough, tough crowd to win over. So,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Next up, guys, I just like, again, he's our captain, but still, you do not just go on international break, fly halfway across the world. Lautaro Martinez dropped an assist and 2 goals off the bench, mind you, against Puerto Rico yesterday, and an assist against Venezuela, the only goal I think in that game a
Mhm.
few days ago, where yeah, Argentina won both games, and yeah, showing again that he's back. I saw some training pictures and people quote tweeted him saying like, this looks like, Lautaro in his best shape, and I can only agree. I feel like we're looking at like, you know prime Lautaro here in terms of physical condition, especially compared to last year, because people were thinking, is it the Copa America, like, tiredness last season? We know this, like, yeah.
I was calling him fat all year last year.
I know, but listen, I think a lot of people were. I don't feel like you're alone in that. But
Mhm.
a lot of people were suspecting that it might be the Copa America, no preseason. all of those factors like playing a part in why last season didn't go as many expected him to perform, you know. And I feel like this season is like proof that this was the case, you know. Those
Yeah. Yeah, you're just
yeah.
trying to like weight like that also can be brought on from just trying to survive at a whole season. Like you're trying to eat as much to make sure that you have the energy to keep going. You can't like stress levels sometimes stops you from being able to feel your fittest.
Yeah.
And yeah, if he keeps getting injured, then he can't like those small little injuries that he had to work through. You can't work that off. Any weight that he puts on, he can't get it off at that point.
Yeah.
So, athletes are going to eat a diet probably 150% to 200% the amount of a normal male adult, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it that doesn't stop just because it's a few weeks of inactivity.
Yeah, and people don't see that, I feel like, as well. People don't consider that, like, in terms of not just diet, but also, like you mentioned, the small injuries. And then sometimes Lautaro's the guy for that too. He will be, like, brutally honest about it. He's like, guys, I struggle with X, Y, and Z injury. I played through this period of time with, like, painkillers and, injections and stuff like that. Like, not even just the World Cup 2022, like, other, you know, phases in his career as well. Like, just so people realize that this is not like, you can't you look at the TV and see a player starting and think that he's 100% fit. No, sometimes a player will sacrifice stuff and will also take painkillers and do whatever it takes to have the body temporarily ready, but you're putting off an injury. You see with a lot of players where people put off operations, and people put off, like, surgeries on, that's the word, surgeries for months, just because they know that they want to be ready for first team football for, like, as long as basically they can push their body to that limit. And a lot of people just don't see that because you're basically playing handicap. And so the fact that we're actually seeing a fit Lautaro this season is yeah, it's gold. It's
I'm excited
very
for it.
valuable, yeah.
Before, just last thing before we move on from Lautaro,
Yeah.
if you remove Messi from Argentina, Lautaro, since Scaloni took over, is Argentina's top goal scorer. And in addition to that, he is Argentina's fourth best all-time goal scorer.
He just tied Hernan Crespo, I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Which
Yeah.
means also, if you look at the two above him that isn't Messi, he can catch those two very
Oh,
quickly.
Batistuta as well.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Like
I feel like he'll catch
just
Batistuta in like 2-3 years.
just think about that. At 28 years old, just turned 28 in August, by the way, he is about to be only behind Messi in Argentina's all-time goal scorers list. And the amount of slander that he gets for that national team. Carried them like top goal scorer in the Copa America. 2 goals and 2 assists this international break. Yeah, he's doing good things for them, and he needs more respect from them, in my opinion. It's
Absolutely.
Messi fans, really. It's not really Argentinian fans.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I mean, I have my like thing with just in general football fans about like how they just view the World Cup 2022 as like the decisive moment of how to judge Lautaro's time with Argentina, because we know that he was injured first of all, and we also know that, I don't know if you remember, this is a very specific thing, only a few people remember, that first offside goal against Saudi Arabia, where VAR forgot a player that was on the left back of Saudi Arabia and didn't consider him for the VAR review, and if it was wrong, like falsely disallowed by VAR, which is crazy by the way. If they see that and he's onside and he scores that first goal, first of all, they don't lose to Saudi Arabia, but second of all, Lautaro remains the starter for the rest of the World Cup and doesn't get replaced by Julian Alvarez, right? So, like, it was the most unfortunate way, plus the injury that he was playing with, the injections he was playing with, to have our whole, like, basically the entire football fan base judge a player like him on just a few games with all these circumstances. It's nonsense, but we know this anyway, right? We know this. We know how football fans get. We know how, especially Messi fans get with other national team players. So You know, we know what they think of Higuain as well. Like, it's disrespect is only going to be there, but yeah. Moving on, guys. I do want to point out. He didn't play much, but I do want to point out Carlos Augusto, who got his first Brazil call up in a while. I don't think it was 2 years, but it's been a while since he got the last call up.
Getting close to that, I think.
And
He
so
got one last season.
yeah, so Ancelotti took him and the rest of the Brazil squad on a East Asia tour, I think. An East Asia tour against South Korea and Japan. So they beat South Korea 5-0, and then they lost to Japan 3-2, which was interesting. So bit of a mixed one. And I watched the second game against Japan. He started that game. He got subbed on in the first game. Started the second game. Didn't really look too good with Vinicius on that left-hand side. Didn't really do much. I don't know if it was just maybe jet lag or whatever, but he didn't look too comfortable. But it's good to see him back. He deserves it. Definitely, you know, contending for that, like fighting for that left back spot more than ever with Dimarco. Even though Dimarco's stepping up his game this season as well. So it's good to see that, you know, he's being rewarded for that too. And obviously Ancelotti being manager now helps a little bit as well, because he'll be more fun. He'll be happier with Serie A players getting called up, basically. And then, I'm trying to see if there's anyone else I want to mention. Petar Sučić had a great first game against Czechia, again, World Cup qualifying with Croatia. Second game, he didn't even feature, so not too much on that. And the first game did end 0-0, but Sučić did have a great game. And then also Denzel Dumfries had 2 good games for the Netherlands and got an assist in the first one against Malta for their 4th goal. So much on that. Some good performances. Piotr Zielinski captained his team Poland against New Zealand in a friendly.
Didn't he score a goal this?
Oh yeah, he also scored the only goal of the game. Thank you for reminding me. I completely forgot.
Yeah. A screamer, by the way.
Scored a streamer. If you guys want to go watch the highlights, make sure you go watch the highlights because it was a great goal. Captained his side because Lewandowski was out for that first game. So yeah, good to see. Good to see. And unless you want to mention anyone else, Sean, I don't know if you have anything else you want to.
No, you mentioned it briefly, but Dimarco continues to bag assists.
Got assist, yeah. In yesterday's game, against for Mancini, yeah. Or both games.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get an assist on the first game?
Assist. Yes, let me make sure that I'm not talking out of my ass, but
I know he assisted Mancini yesterday, but I completely didn't think of the first game.
Estonia, he
assisted Moise Kean, for the first goal. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so again, it shows that both him and Carlos are doing well, right? Which is great to see.
Yeah, it's good to have that competition. And then who else?
I am a little bit disappointed that Barella played another 2 games starting. We've said this last week, right? Where I said he's probably going to start both games for Italy. Look, he started both games for Italy. This man did not get any rest. I feel like he's the one I'm most concerned about in terms of playing time.
Yeah.
So
I hope that he I kind of do hope that he gets rested this weekend, and we'll talk about that game. But I would rather him come on than zombie his way through 60 minutes. But and then who else? I was thinking Dumfries got some minutes.
Yeah.
He just, it was like 6 out of 10 performances from him for both of those games. But yeah, other than that, and then we had our U23 players. Some of them got a lot of minutes just in their U21 teams.
Yeah,
so
Luka Topalovic did score in his first game, which was good. It was a good goal as well. I managed to watch a clip. I don't think I saw the actual game, but he did score with the number 10 as well, slotting right into the under-21s team, which is great. And they're on the path to qualify for the under-21 Euros, even though they did lose their second game. But yeah. And then I don't think anyone else did anything significant. Italy under-20 did get knocked out, but we covered that last week already as we were recording, actually. So, so much on that. But if you don't have anything else, I think we can move on to
that's good.
Some transfer rumors, which, like you said, are kind of being crafted out of the boredom right now. But one thing
Yeah.
that I do believe, which I'll pull it up right now, guys, is this story right here, which is the fact that Jan Bissek is understandably, considering leaving Inter and considering his future, looking at the World Cup 2026. We know a lot of players do this, rightly so, because he is ultimately, eyeing up a place in the squad for the World Cup, maybe even a starting spot. I'm not ruling it out. I know there's a lot of good defenders in the German national team, but still, he, knows he's potentially good enough for that. So I understand his request, if it's true anyway. Obviously, this is Sky Sport Germany. I do believe that they know what they're talking about. So, yeah, it's not ruled out that he might transfer out in January.
Yeah, I
So,
know Kivu, I don't think he's considering dropping a Kanji, and I don't blame him the way that he's been playing.
yeah.
It just sucks for Bisek. You could rotate with Pavard. Pavard was good, but he also got injured sometimes, so Bisek had to play. Like, it gave Bisek some game time, but now he's definitely second fiddle to Akanji, and maybe he can find more game time by slotting in both left center back and right center back. I think he'll get some game time in the next couple weeks, but yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be able to leave though, because who does Inter bring in?
that's the thing. Do we even need to, like, okay, we obviously need to if he leaves, but my thought was more like we should have just, again, sorry if anyone is affiliated with Thomas Palacios, but we should have just forced out Thomas Palacios. Because, like you said, Bissek would have seen more time at left centre back. Because Damian is also still there as a squad filler to cover right centre back when needed. And then I don't see why we had to keep that extra player. I genuinely don't. And so my thing is, yeah, because he's not getting a run of games, like a regular run of games now, Bissek, it's like worsening the whole situation even more because he's not finding, you know, a rhythm. He's not finding regular minutes where he can even get into form. So it's going to be even harder to try and, again, like you said, Akanji's having a great season. So you can't even fault Bissek for anything. He's not done anything wrong. It's just Akanji's done a
Yeah,
lot of things right, and that's what
yeah.
we're looking at. And I did like his Instagram stories. He posts like me, guys. He posts like some random stuff. No alarm clock needed. My hatred wakes me up. Yep, I'm a
Dude,
Bagatarius. Yep. What's
yeah,
next?
these are the like the Instagram posts and the reels that I send to my friends in the like midnight 2 a.m. just so they have to open up their phone and roll their eyes like,
Yeah, he's
ah,
a he's just
they're
a
the
he's
worst.
just a cool guy,
Yeah,
like you and me. Like he genuinely just doesn't care. And it's a shame that someone said he said afterwards he posted it, he deleted it after a few minutes, and he posted us another story saying PR not happy or something like that. Basically, the media training guys came to him like, bro, you can't post this. Like, this is not a good look, which is crazy. Like, his personal Instagram account, he can post whatever he wants, but clearly the intermediate team were like, oh, like this just looks unprofessional. But bro, like you just post. Like some people were referring it to his situation in terms
yeah.
of leaving. And it's not. It's never that. Like he's
I don't
not the guy to
I don't
hint
see
at
it.
that
Yeah.
with his Insta stories. He's genuinely just having fun. I genuinely just think he's having fun.
Especially like Bagatarius.
Yeah, like no,
Like
like what is that even supposed to be related to in terms of his transfer rumors? It genuinely doesn't mean anything. I actually feel like people are reading too much into it, and we need to stop doing that.
yeah.
But yeah, next up, I would like to. Well, let me ask you this first. Actually, do you think he should leave, or do you think it's still not too late to like try and integrate him into the squad more
I think he gets a chance against Union Saint-Gilloise next week. And
on
then
Tuesday?
after the
Yeah,
Napoli, yeah, and then at Napoli, after Napoli, I think he's going to start getting more game time. I think Kivu really needed to, recover the season before he starts letting, because he talked about Bisek before the season began and about kind of how young players need to be able to make mistakes because they asked him about Bisek's, like the younger players' mistakes, and he knows what he's actually doing, I think, is actually trying to protect him from being in another big game
Yeah, because sorry to
and
interrupt
having
you,
another mistake.
but people have like inferred that this means that Kibu doesn't rate him. I don't think Kibu doesn't rate him. I just
Mhm.
feel like like you said, he's being careful. And like if he didn't rate him, he would have obviously sold him Crystal Palace for those 40 million or whatever they offered in the summer.
Mhm.
I don't think Kibu dislikes him. I genuinely just feel like Akanji's just been very good. I don't think there's anything personal. I don't think there's anything like performance related. It's just unlucky for Bisseck the way it's been going. I think he understands that too. I think he's mature enough to know, like, okay, this is not about me. This is not about my performances. Like, I do get where the little hint at like wanting to get game time for the World Cup is coming from, but I don't think this story is like 100% like, oh, he's gonna leave because of the World Cup. No, there's still plenty of time to make up for it.
Yeah, and Sky Sport Germany, which is the one that's like really pushing this story, they love their Germans coming back to the Bundesliga. So like, those are the connections that are kind of happening. And
Yeah,
BSEC wanting more game time doesn't mean I want to leave. It's a the agent's media training of, can you get my client more game time where he's at? He doesn't want to leave.
yeah,
Let's see
yeah.
some games. Um,
These things just don't get
like
thrown to journalists for no reason. Like,
yeah,
we need to remember this, that this is like a whole industry that, you know, if these things are being written, they're written for several reasons often. So I wouldn't even like, you know, take this too well, just like with a lot of other stories, I wouldn't take it too like literally and literally just imagine like, okay, what could the reason be for these news coming out at that moment kind of thing. And I thought that this is the case
yeah,
for Bisseck here.
yep.
Um but yeah, no, I would also say this is just like kind of like um a strategic kind of news coming out, and I do feel like he'll get his chance. I do feel like this story is, his story at Inter is far from over. I feel like there's still a lot to go for him. So, or at least I hope so.
Well, yeah, and because of it, we got a couple names now that everyone's throwing out.
Yeah, I mean we can talk about it now. Main one being Mark Gahey, I guess. From
Mhm.
he was also linked with Liverpool in the summer. Don't mind him. I do watch more Crystal Palace than usual because I just think they're playing great football. Obviously, they have an Austrian coach, Austrian manager right now, who's doing a great job with Crystal Palace. They had a great unbeaten run until they didn't.
Everton,
Yeah,
yeah,
until
till
Everton.
Everton. Yep.
Yeah, which is funny, but yeah, um, their manager's doing a great job. So I do watch Crystal Palace from time to time. Also because they're not the classic Prem team, not just in terms of fans, but also in terms of the football they play. They play a fresh football. It's good to watch. Yeah, I think Gahey's a great centre back. But it would feel again kind of like similar to Akanji and Pavard, at least on paper. Also, obviously Akanji's proven to be better than Pavard now, right? I think we can all say that now. But on paper, it would look like another one of those moves. Like you're just swapping a player, you're not really improving or
Yeah.
like downgrading. Would I be against it? No, but I just don't really see a point in it. So again, that's why I'm down to give Bissek more of a chance. Any other centre backs you want to mention?
No, just names from like different types of names. You got young names, Serie A names, and then Gahey is well linked, like you said, to Liverpool, but also to Real Madrid. So his contract expires next summer, so that's the Beppe special. That's why he's being linked. So
Yeah.
no, I don't have much else than that.
Okay. Well, guys, I do want to mention before we move on to like upcoming games and squad news. Fabrizio Romano said this. I think it was in one of his YouTube videos that Neymar was offered to Inter by his entourage, not even through intermediaries, by his entourage, right? Which tells me that because it would be stupid for Inter to not accept this for a lot of reasons, right? But also, like, it tells me that the salary was obviously a problem, and that's why there was no further contact. But it also tells me that there's a lot of other clubs that was probably in the discussions, because when you offer, like, people need to realize when an entourage offers a player to a club, it's usually not just one club, unless there's a specific like reason or a specific demand. But we see this a lot with players being like offered to other clubs. It's usually several clubs. Like we saw it with Taremi in the summer, for example. He was offered to so many clubs, and then those clubs have to decide, okay, do we want the player? Does he fit our system, our project, whatever? And then they can enter contract negotiations and so on. But even those might not go well. So a player being offered to a club is at the very first stage of something happening, basically, if that makes sense. Just
Yep.
because I'm just explaining it now, Sean, I hope, I mean, you know this, right? But I don't explain it to you, but just for some viewers that might not really know how significant news like these are, obviously it didn't happen, right? So it doesn't make any difference
Yeah.
anyway. But this is a very regular thing that happens within the transfer world, within the world of football. Like that's like from like just working on the Inter Extra page for the last 2 years. I feel like that's like the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things I've learned in terms of the transfer market. That it just happens regularly because you know these agents and entourages and intermediaries, they get paid as well, and they all have to basically do something every now and then. And so in order to try and get players new contracts, in order to try and get players to move to places, these things naturally happen. And it's not like, oh my days, Neymar is going to Inter. It's interesting, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing
Yeah.
like, yeah. But yeah, what's
This
your
is
take on
also
it?
only being this is only being mentioned in my opinion because his contract runs out in December.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Right? It's just drawing up traction,
Yeah,
like you were saying. So, um it would be cool at the right price, the right salary. It'd be great. But um yeah, Neymar's kind of relaxed in Brazil for the last however long he's been
if
there.
I'm Neymar, I don't think I'm leaving. Like, I don't really see a point. Like, I know Santos aren't having the greatest of times in the Brazilian league, but it's his boyhood club. I feel like he's just living life there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he also gets more freedom there in terms of like missing certain games for family celebrations or his sister's
Yeah.
birthday or all of those things, whatever he does, I don't know.
No
Like,
more fake injuries.
yeah, fake injuries. I feel like he's allowed to do that more because it's just his home nation. But yeah, guys, just quickly before we get into upcoming games, there are some injuries that were reported. Now, the main one is Marcus Thuram's injury is apparently worse than initially predicted, which I'm not surprised. I kind of saw this coming. I had a feeling. So the recovery timeline has changed. Forward is now expected to miss Inter's matches against Roma and the Serie A, which was kind of, the goal for him to get back to. But also Union Saint-Gilloise, which is on Tuesday next week. So only it's already in 6 days. And the goal is for him to be available to face Napoli on October 25th, which, in my opinion, means that he'll just be in the squad and won't start, which means we'll see Boni or Pio start, the next 3 games, basically,
Yeah.
alongside Lautaro. And I even feel like against Sanchilas, we might see Boni and Esposito together again.
Yeah.
So
It's yeah, I read somewhere that they saw him after the initial, so didn't think it was too bad, then it was worse than expected,
yeah,
but then he's also recovering quickly. So they were like hoping maybe for Roma, and then they said no, let's just make sure that he's safe um for the Napoli game, and I think that's the right move.
yeah. Also, Matteo Damian has a slight injury, and Raffaele Di Gennaro has a slight injury as well. 2 injuries that don't really impact the formation, so I'm not really going to mention it too much. But yeah, just for the record. Um, yeah, but if you want to go through the upcoming fixtures, Sean, I'll also pull it up on the side here.
Yeah. Um so if we go through the all of the games that we have, starting with the women's team. Apologies. There it is. So this weekend, the women's team is playing Parma. It looks like that's on Sunday. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully another 3 points for them there. We don't know about the Europa Cup next leg, the next tie, the next round.
Okay.
So we'll, I think, because they have to do a draw for the next couple of rounds. So right now,
Yeah,
Inter women are into the next round, but we don't know who they're going to be
probably
playing.
on Friday then.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And then for the Primavera, they're playing Napoli Saturday. It'll be morning for me. I think it's midday, mid-afternoon for Central European time.
Yeah.
And then the U23 team is playing Alcione, I believe, or Alcione on Friday afternoon, late afternoon. And then again, just a reminder, their game from this that was supposed to be this weekend has been postponed to
Tuesday, I
I
think.
think
It's a
yeah,
midweek for sure, but that's also
yeah,
okay because this game is on Friday.
yeah. And then Inter, we've mentioned a couple of them already, but we have Roma on Saturday coming back from the international break. And then our third Champions League match against Union Saint-Gilloise on Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
yeah, hoping for 3 points. Well, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, hoping for 15 points over the next 6 days.
Something like that. Yeah, that would be good. Especially
Yeah.
one thing I did want to mention is hopefully the Primavera get back on track. I know they've had a difficult start to the season, losing a lot of players, pushing up a lot of the under 18s, maybe a little early, but forcibly because of, the they're literally being a whole new team that they had to fill up.
They
It's
get Idrisu and Mosconi back.
Yes, correct. So that's a boost again, and they're
Mhm.
obviously important. But it hasn't been easy so far. So hopefully they get back up and running, and then obviously the other games as well. I was planning on going to the Union Saint Gilloise game because it's only 2 hours from where I live right now. Didn't manage to get tickets, which is a shame because they only sold their home game tickets in bundles, and I couldn't get away tickets, unfortunately. However, yeah, still hoping for a good game, and
Yeah.
yeah, should be uh, another Bonnie and Pio Esposito strike force, which I'm very excited for. So
Yeah. Should
yeah,
be fun. I'm excited for him.
but yeah, I'll let you sign off, Sean, if you're down.
Yeah, of course. Everyone, thank you guys for making it this long, this far with us. Again, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then leave a comment of anything that you wanted us to talk about. Share with your friends. And then if you're listening to us on audio, make sure that you leave a 5-star rating, give us a comment of anything you wanted us to talk about, and then share as well. Share with all your friends and follow us on Twitter at Inter_Xtra, no E, just XTRA. And then yeah,
See you next week.
of course, yeah. Forza Inter Sempre.
What's up?